Hey my sugar bears, welcome back to my channel, Bougie AF. It's your host, JackeeNicole. It's where I say stay bougie on them. It's me feeding you feminism for the soul. It's my soul food offering. It's where I apply pressure to issues by being critical and logical. Now don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's get to the commentary where I can guarantee you I will be doing too much because that's just me. And like Sheree said, who's gonna check me, boo? All right, so let's get into this Instagram scroll. So there's been this story that's out. So I just recently said in one of my videos that I just did that I believe certain celebrities kind of play into things going viral or using certain content to go viral so they can be relevant. And not really kind of giving a fuck what you think, so they kind of let things just be said without them addressing it, if you know what I mean. So let's say that there's a rumor about me and I don't clear it up because it keeps people talking, and so it keeps like an allure, a mystique, right? Like you don't come out, you don't correct nothing, whatever your misunderstanding of what you think you know is your business, not mine. You ain't gonna ask me about shit like in real life, right? Like it'd be that type of wave. And I feel this way about Kevin Gates. I most definitely feel this way about Kevin Gates and some things that kind of sometimes comes out about him and his relationship with Drake. And she says nothing, so you really have no real idea of like what's true and what's not. But what I do know, sometimes it feels like it coincides with like album releases and things that he's working on. And it's just a way, like I told you, to seem as though you have motion. And it's always a hot topic in terms of like his relationship, his sexual nature, because the nigga talks about sex a lot. I mean, he's a very sexual, sensual person, and you can just kind of feel it. It's pulsating off the screen on my phone, right? So you can feel that type of energy from this man, right? But that being said, he's always talked about a lot because he's always talking about the fact that he'll eat the booty. You know, there's been stories about in the past about him sleeping with his cousin. I know last year, maybe even the year before, there was a story where he talks about, you know, being taken advantage when he was younger. You always get a very hypersexual type of, you know, feel from him, from the things he talks about, from the things he, you know, like I said, from the things he talks about and how he carries himself. And he's not shy to talk about, you know, I think he said he liked a little pee recently, or I don't know, some shit that he said with Carisha on her show. And it was like, oh, okay, we doing all that. I know there was a conversation talking about, you know, your partner pissing on you or golden showers and shit like that. Listen. He's into things, basically. And so now there's this story where this trans girl came out and alleged that she's supposedly hooked up with him. I'll be completely honest, I don't believe this, but you go ahead and listen to her and let me know what you think.
I'm not, like, so he came and he was like, let's go to dinner. And I was like, okay, just like text me where. Like, kept it really cool. And he sat down, he had like 4 phones. He was saying like El Chapo was watching me, and I was like, okay. Like, cool. He had a boat. Was a gang or was
no, Chapo.
And we were in his car, he was playing me his new album. He was on Instagram Live, and in my brain I'm like, dude, he shows me on live. And I'm like, I just know one of like the fans from Iowa, like where I'm from.
That
like,
is a dude.
Yeah, like that's a fucking girl. And it was just one of those situations where I almost felt like I was like at like lunch with or like in trouble with my principal. Like I felt like he was literally looking so deep into like my soul and my like 9 different holes that like I didn't even know what I was getting into. I tried caviar for the first time. That was cute. It was hot. He asked like, do you want to come home with me? He was kind of just like, get in my car.
And they just, I mean, that's how they always are.
You don't ask, you go.
Yeah, you just go. You just follow the rules.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He's all about like energy, like ashwagandha, like the whole 9. Honestly, we fucked. And I told him I was trans, like mid, like spread eagle, like pussy flap scars and all. Like
how did you bring that up?
Honestly,
like,
I was just
mid-sex. What?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm squirting. He's like, no, you're not. Yeah. Oh my god, you guys kill me. But no, I was literally, I'm not kidding, like spread eagle. I think he was like eating me out or something, and then in my brain he like stopped, and I'm like, oh, he knows my clit looks different. Like fuck. Like I was like, fuck. What's happening? He was like, yeah, no, he's not out of breath that quick. Let me get this man an oxygen tank. But he was like, can I ask you something? And I go, yeah? And he was like, well, are you trans? And I go, and I was just like, I was so drunk. Like, laying there, like, the hair
What makes you that idea?
And and I was laying there and I go, you caught me. And he literally was like, baby, I don't give a fuck. God raised all of us equal, all this stuff. And I was like, that makes you so much more attractive, and that makes you so much more, like, honestly manly and hot, that you, like, that you know that I had to work harder and pay more than all these other fucking crusty I was like, I'm not, like, so he came and he was like, let's go to dinner.
All right, so I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think this is a serious person. I don't take her serious. I think one of the things that threw me off is like how she's talking about it as if though no care to maybe he didn't want it, maybe he's comfortable privately, maybe he doesn't want it out publicly, right? But she doesn't seem to, as if though that's even registered to her. That's why I don't take. That's part of the reason I don't take her serious. I also don't take her serious because when she said the El Chapo part, I don't think this grown ass man is, meeting people, hooking up with them, and talking about how El Chapo is after him, right? El Chapo got mobile. El Chapo got internet. El Chapo and them, if they were really looking for him, would know where to find his ass out. So I just think that is something, when somebody sat around and listened to you enough, they actually kind of know the certain things to kind of say that make it seem as though they try to make it seem real. And if you listen to his music enough, he does talk about like El Chapo and the cartel and all this other stuff. So she's like kind of playing into that in this for me. And the other reason I just don't believe that, even if he is comfortable in terms of like someone being a transgender, nobody's comfortable about someone like lying and not being upfront and all this other stories, other stuff. Outside of that, I think he's somebody that will. He's not come out and addressed this. This was 3 days ago. Because we know so much about him in terms of like what he has discussed about his sexuality, and I'm not his sexuality, but like what he likes sexually. What he has discussed, you just never know what's true. And I think he likes that. Like, right? I think he likes that for some of this shit you don't know what's true. You just think some things, and you ain't gonna ask nobody no shit, and you ain't gonna ask him no shit, most definitely. But I think he likes people not knowing. Like, I remember there was a story that allegedly came out about his current wife and supposedly her cheating on him, and he put it out he had been cheated on, and then all of a sudden people thought she was cheating on him with her trainer, the person she worked out with. And then it was a whole big like him then being seen with the girl from Love and Hip Hop Miami, and everyone's like, stop playing. Your girl looked better than that. Go ahead. Y'all been open and talking about y'all been open and doing the most, and we even know that he's like had an open marriage, like, you know what I'm saying, like he's had girlfriends while being married, like it's been really weird, right? Like all of this is happening. So when the whole story about his wife having a girlfriend and he was mad and felt disrespected, I think a lot of us looked at it as like, if you don't take your swinger ass back home and stop playing with us, right? And of course he took his ass back home and stopped playing with us. So, but like I said, you just never know. Like, so much stuff will be out there at times, and it just is what it is. And I think this story right here, I don't believe this woman. But so this led, well, you know what? I didn't even read the comments, but let's see what they're saying. Oh, and the other thing that I didn't like that she did, because at the end she started talking about, he recognized I've had to do so much work and it's so much harder for me than these crusties dusties. Are you talking about like people who were born cis hetero? Like, are you talking about us? You're calling us crusty dusties. Like, this is the thing that aggravates a lot of cis hetero women with transgender women, right? Or just women in general. There's this thought or this belief that in terms of like, to big up yourself, you have to diss somebody else. And a lot of women buy into that, right? Like, I have to be talking shit about another woman, right? That's the way I'm going to stand out if I point out her flaws or what's wrong with her, and make myself look like I am top tier, right? And that's what this comes across, right? Very insecure and all this other stuff. Like, you want to be like something I was born, right? So to ever call me dusty about something is just really weird. You had to learn what God naturally gave me. You know what I mean? So it's just like weird when transgenders like really try to go in on the women that they are trying to imitate. It's just really weird. It's not the other way around. It has never been the other way around. Everything y'all do is based off the behaviors of women. All right. All right, so let's read some of these comments. Don't call me white girl. She says crusty dusty. 389 likes. If you don't know her, she's actually really funny. Go check her out. Um the world before this info, the world after this info. Like nothing changes. Like this changes nothing. Wait, so you didn't tell him first? That's still a dangerous game, I guess, child. And that's why a lot of people know, especially being black, like that's not something that's gonna go this way, right? Like in real life. I'm so lost. I have nothing against trans people, but how is it okay to put this man's sexual orientation out on Front Street when that community is basically begging for protection against things like being discriminated against or getting beat up for being trans, period. Some people going through transition or have already did it still don't want the world to know. So please tell me how this is okay. And I totally agree with this. This actually is a good comment that's going to lead to me reading about this led to TS Madison. She came out and she gave her opinions about women who are trans girls who weaponize the fact that they are trans girls, for clout or exposing men in a way that does not make sense, right? Because if you've literally said that I am a woman now, right? I've went through this transition. I'm a full blown woman. I want to be accepted. I don't even want you to ever think of me as a man. You can't then turn around and try to expose or cause harm to another man and say, "Hey, you like trans," like as trying to point out the fact or trying to insinuate that this person knowingly or is into men when you know you look like a woman to him, right? Like, so that's very dangerous. And that's why she's not a serious person, right? To be completely honest, right? Because if she cared about, the safety of trans girls and the stereotypes and what people falsely believe that they, about them, you wouldn't do stuff like this. She's very comfortable with her life and surroundings because this is a dangerous game. Totally agree. I don't get it. If you want to be a woman, why did you have to let it be known that you're a man to embarrass another man? Exactly. You pay all that money to be a woman just to let people know you're a man. That's weird. 1,645 likes. She could have kept this information until after Ramadan. That's a fact because he's not going to probably break Ramadan. Damn, motor mouth. I don't care how sexual a person is. She definitely should have disclosed that before the encounter, not when he tongue deep in it. Okay, because we know his tongue was places, so she talks about that. He introduced her to Drika. Y'all believe that? I don't know. It ain't my business, and I don't know. Maybe I'm behind with the times. Exactly. That's the other reason I don't believe that either. I don't believe that either. And that's not to say we know that they have an open relationship. And that's the other thing about when people know things about you, they know how to phrase things in a way that makes things believable. I think because everyone knows they have this open relationship, that you really think that you came to a house that he shares with his wife? You really think that? And his children? Is that what you really think happened in your head? Like that makes sense to you? Even if she's down with the shits, you think she's not down with the shits. Like, oh, we gonna meet something at the hotel, or her and her husband, plan something at a hotel, and they get a babysitter. You think that they are letting you come to their home? Okay, a home of theirs. Okay, girl. Oh, I don't know why this person had all this to say, but I pray for them. That's crazy. It should be against the law to not disclose info like that before sex. I don't care. I'm not anti-trans, but telling someone you are trans after you already in an intimate situation is not okay. Not only is it dishonest to the other person, it's putting you at risk. I played the rest after Crusty Dusty. Yeah, because she was about to talk some shit about women. Like, we're not doing that. I love how trans women always want to downplay a natural woman. That's where she was going. Like you don't like us, but like you don't like us, but want to be us. Exactly. 205. What is the reason? Like, what is the reason for this? Oh, so that's TS Madison, and that leads me to another post. So, like I said, she, gave her thoughts and opinions about it. her thoughts and opinions are very similar to what a lot of people are saying. Are you weaponizing the same thing that you say that you're not or against? It's weird. So if you don't know who TS Madison is, she's really known for she's a trans woman. We really know her for doing a show with Kaya on the YouTube. Really funny, one of the best roast shows. Like, I still sometimes get my snacks and listen to some of Kaya's roasting, and especially the one about Trick Daddy. And Trick Daddy is one of her top ones. And Regine and Toya and them. I'm sorry, y'all. That shit is so fucking funny sometimes. And Candy. Funny, okay? What else is funny? Leandria, and we know what she says about Trina. I'm sorry, y'all. Comedy is comedy, and the shit be funny sometimes. But anyway, y'all agree? T.S. Madison calls out trans women who shared their encounters with celebrity men. Can't claim you're a woman, then sensationalize your sexual encounter for shock value. If you trans and you out here running to social media slash blogs to detail your sexual experience with celebrity men, I have a question for you. What is the reason? Because you can't claim you a woman, then sensationalize your sexual encounters for shock value. Don't be the continuous part of the down low stigma men are forced to adhere to surrounding their sexuality. And then she writes, she captioned it as, so again, I've always stated that there is no safe space on any front for the man to live, for men to live their authentic lives. The women won't accept them. The men won't accept them. The trans wanna out them. You can't. The women won't accept them. Like in terms of like stopping them from being like. Let's say a man is interested in men and women, right? Are you saying that the women won't accept them in terms of like they won't date them because they may be bisexual? Or are you trying to say that women don't accept them and as if though they're out here protesting or saying that you can't be bisexual? And I think there's a difference, right? Like no one is saying that you can't be who you are. But what I also don't think you get to do and say is that someone has to accept it to the point that they would have to, or you feel like they should just date them because you think that's the right thing to do. I think there's so many different preferences and so many different, especially as black women, right? Because you're most definitely talking about black women. But there's so many different preferences and there's so many different reasons on why men will say they don't date specific type of women. And there's rarely any pushback, right? Because it's like, who are you to tell people that they can't date who they want? And I think that applies here, right? I don't think that, black women should shame bisexual men, right? I don't think that you should, try to cause any type of harm or anything like that to the bisexual men or expose or call them out or any of that stuff. But I don't think anybody has the right to tell you that you have to accept them in terms of like dating them, right? I don't think you have the right to do that. Now I will say what I do have a problem with, because the same thing that you're calling out, T.S. Madison, is that I have a transgender niece. I most definitely know that I don't like that there are certain men who will be down low within the community and do things that are harmful, which I think this woman, did something that was harmful to the trans community, like trying to call Kevin Gates out. I think in real life, like in my real life, in my experience, I don't think you get to be down low within the community, cause harm within the community or between different communities in terms of like, cause harm in terms of not being honest about being bisexual and sleeping with women and men. I don't think you have the right to do that and put people's safety at hand and also keep anonymity or, be anonymous about your sexuality, right? Like I know there's an experience where I had a situation with a guy. He does not want to be, he does not want to be known as bisexual, but you expose other people, right? You put out there other people's business. You tell people who's the trans girls, right? a community that TS Madison tries to stay to themselves. They don't try to put themselves out there too much because they understand how dangerous it is. So when someone thinks they can be down low and also put other people in danger, that's a problem to me, right? So there's no, for me, I don't feel like you deserve. I don't feel like these down low men at that point deserve cover for their behavior. The men won't accept them. You mean like their homeboys and friends and stuff like that? I can understand that, right? Because I think if you found out your homeboy was bisexual, I don't feel like that should change. And again, how do you tell men to? But then you think everybody wants you. Like, you can be friends with somebody and they not want you. So, yeah, I mean, I totally agree. Like, I don't think, you being friends with somebody and you find out they're bisexual or something, I don't think your friendship should change with them, right? I think you're not friends with them because of who they sleep with. But I don't know. You could feel like, you could feel like someone like lives a double life, and you could feel uncomfortable with somebody who could keep such a big secret. But at the same time, someone's sexual, where they put their penis at, it's really not your problem. The trans women want to out them, and I think that's 100% correct, right? Like, you can't have these two things cannot exist. You can't be a trans woman, you can't be a part of the community and still doing very dangerous things. Also, there's this person on Clubhouse, and I don't respect him because he operates this way, right? Like, he's a gay man, but he'll partner and do business with like people who would do harm to other gay people, right? Who call out gay people, who expose gay people, who, to really make it hard for some gay people, and women, right? Or, threaten women and all this other stuff. But then also I hear him in the same token working with these same toxic ass men who don't mean the community any good by trying to set up other men to expose them for being on the down low, right? And so that's that thing, that privilege. You can't be in a community, call yourself some type of activist, but also playing these games. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, come on. Come on. All right, so let's see what they have to say here. My thing is, what is there to expose if you're a quote unquote woman? 2,689 likes. Yeah, because clearly they don't view themselves as actual women, or else you wouldn't have to detail a sexual encounter when the only reason people care is because they are two men, right? 3,939 likes. TS Madison is the mother. Y'all need to listen. That is because there are women and then there are trans women. There's a difference. We all need to understand that, respect that. Once we as a people start to accept who we are, stand on who we are, then others will be able to accept and respect who we are. Oh, a whole bunch of nothing. What the fuck was that? All right, that was crazy. TS, this is bullshit. You were doing the same antics prior to you getting into the position you're in today. You claim that you JOTD with the same actor that was with K. Michelle a couple years back. What? Oh, 278 likes. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, that's what that stands on. Jumped on the dick with the same actor that was with K. Michelle a couple years back. Okay, but what's JOTD? I just told y'all. Let me see. Oh, this is crazy. This is crazy. I wish that Instagram would add some more filter features to their website, like in terms of being able to like see all comments or go to the very first one and stuff like that. This is so freaking annoying and archaic to me. It is, because I just feel like you're gonna see more responses from this celebrity or whoever in the beginning. So I like to get as close as possible. See, that's the reason, right? Because she's responding now, and look, how far back I had to go. All right, so this person, is it Buddy from Daddy's Little Girl? Ooh. Y'all better stop talking about Idris. Like, is that who y'all trying to insinuate allegedly? Y'all better, like, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. I think it means jump on a dick, this person said. This person said Idris question marks. No. Sis, my entire career has been sharing the stories and encounters, not name dropping. Please show me where I name dropped any man I've been with, because it never leaves your record. Oops. Okay, let's see. Okay. Um, I think it depends on how you interpreted the tone. I didn't receive condemnation because the questions are valid. What she stated holds truth. I was waiting for you to let him know, sis. You always keep it 100. Sis, I'm so glad you here so she can mind the biz that pays her. Like she has the chapters to your unpublished book. People speak as if they were your Siamese twin. I do. I hate that. I hate when people speak in absolutes about you. Like, I don't even really remember talking and being around you. Like, how you absolutely know something. You sure you're not thinking about Sydney Starr? I've never heard at TS Madison out in anyone. She's never name dropped. F is you talking about? You can't name one person she effed with. What is the topic that says if you did something years? I'm not reading all that. I don't feel like it. Girl, because you don't have no men to name drop. Who is smashing you? Nobody. Not anybody. Do you still do the dumb shit that you did when you were a kid? Question mark. Okay. Girl, listen, I've shown how lavishly I've lived since 2007. I haven't worked since I was 23. I've been flown around the world before I was a new mainstream success. I was the top black urban trans woman in the sex business. Countless men will tell you I was their first fantasy and many women's first desire to be with a trans woman. Okay. Sit in the corner and eat your government cheese. Play with your cock and not mine. Oh, okay, because she knows she still has hers, y'all. How the fuck you know and why are you so effing concerned? Okay. This is what I will say. I don't remember her naming anybody, but I will say that she would allude to people and it would be on some I heard or you know what they say type of shit, right? And she would allude to people, and I think that's still the same thing, to be completely honest with you. And so I will say no, she's never named anybody that she's actually slept with, but I have watched times and through, like, especially the gags and with Kaya, that you guys would allude to people without saying it, or you would, imply what they heard or what they say in the streets and type of situation. She would talk in that type of way. So I mean, they got it halfway right, but I got it all the way right. Girl, you was messy. All right, y'all, that's all I got. Y'all know how we do here. Y'all gonna stay posh SF, bougie SF, black SF, blessed SF, and y'all be black, y'all. And I am out. Bye. And don't you forget to like, comment, and subscribe.